Good evening, y'all, and welcome to this week's edition of Double K's Classroom. I am Double K. Get your books out and your pens ready and step into my classroom.
The following Four Aces production is for mature audiences only. Listener discretion is highly advised.
Good afternoon, y'all, and welcome to this week's edition of the Classroom, Double K's Classroom for now. Let me tell you a little something. Let me see. Here's how it goes. Today, I'm going to talk about 3 teams and 1 subject. Okay, like we said, hot off the presses, we talk about this stuff right here in the classroom. So we are going to talk about, let's see, the Golden State Warriors. We are going to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers. And we are going to talk in the second half of the show about the NFL playoffs as a whole, but we're going to specifically start with the run of the San Francisco 49ers, and then we'll talk everybody else. So that's what's up in line for you this week here on the Classroom. So let's start out with these Golden State Warriors. As you guys can see, I'm all decked out. You know, it's game day. They play Utah tonight. But recently, the Warriors haven't exactly looked like the best team in basketball like they did very early on in the season. Their record has dropped to 33-13, and they've taken losses in recent weeks to teams like the Pacers, the T-Wolves, the Bucks, the Grizzlies. Well, the Bucks and Grizzlies, not really concerned with those type of losses because those are damn good teams. John Morant is through the roof, one of the most amazing young players in this league, and is destined to be the face of the league at some point in his career. They've lost games to teams like the Pelicans, and yeah, it's just doesn't seem like them being them. Steph is still leading the team, averaging 26.4 a game or 26.3 a game. Draymond, who is currently out, which we'll get to in just a moment, is averaging 7 assists a game, leading the team, and Andrew Wiggins is leading the team, shooting almost 50% from the field. Now, this is what's odd about those stats. Is Steph normally, I want to say career guy, Steph Curry averages what? Shooting at least like 20, I want to say 35-45% from the field for his career. Let's see. His field goal percentage is normally around 47-48. This season, it's at 42. Steph is shooting season lows across, or career lows across the board. 42% from the field, 38% from 3. He's a career 42% shooter from 3. Okay, so he's above his average in free throw percentage, but that's about it. But he has upped his career average, or upped his average for this season over his career in rebounds and assists. Sorry, not assist, and blocks, and he's right around average with steals. But just Steph's been on a slump recently, and I tell you, like, it has affected the Warriors, and the fact that shots that would normally go in, that would energize the team and get the team rolling, are now rimming out. And it's just like, and that's with Clay's return. Like, Clay has been playing decently. I want to say he's averaging something like 12 or 15 in limited minutes. Like, he's only playing 20 minutes a game. He's had a couple of good games, couple of bad games, but Clay's impact is being seen on both sides of the court once it gets going. But here's the deal. It just seems like the Warriors can't get their core 3 on the floor all at the same time. And that leads me into my next subject after Steph's shooting slump is Draymond Green went out like he the game that Clay came back, I want to say, which game was that? Earlier in the month, the game against who was it? It wasn't 76ers. Was it the Grizzlies? No, it wasn't. Was it the Kings? No, it was somebody that was beatable. I forget who, but it was at home. Right. And I'll say, oh, it was against the Cavs. The game against the Cavs. Okay. Clay comes back, big deal. Draymond comes in for like one, just comes in for tip off and bounces out and has not played a game since. And the Warriors have gone what 4-4 with the Cavs game since then. 4-4 without Draymond, and they probably gonna be missing him for about another week or so. Like they gotta figure out what the heck they doing. Clay comes back, and then now we lose Draymond, so we still ain't got our full squad on the floor. But I hope come playoff time, all these injuries will have healed and they can make the run that they need to make. Because I think a starting lineup of Curry, Thompson, Wiggins, Green, and Looney is killer enough without the backup or without the second squad being Jordan Poole, Gary Payton Jr., Otto Porter Jr., Jonathan Kuminga, and James Wiseman. Like y'all don't understand. Y'all don't understand. Just like I'm about to say about the 49ers in the second half of the season going into the playoffs, did nobody want to see them in the playoffs? If this Warriors team is fully healthy, don't nobody want to see them in the playoffs. Don't nobody want to see them in the playoffs. I'm not saying they're going to guarantee win a chip. I'm just saying don't nobody want to see them in the playoffs because it's just that simple. But they got Utah tonight. They beat Utah last time they played them, 123-116. So I'm hoping that they can get the W again tonight. Get to that 34-13. That last game, Curry hit his first ever game winner, like clutch game winner in the last 5 seconds of a game against Houston in a game that should have never been that close. Don't get me wrong. Houston is a scrappy fucking squad, but it should have never been that close. Same thing with the loss to Indiana. That should have never happened. But it did. And congrats to that Pacers team because they beat the Warriors and the Lakers and the Warriors on back-to-back nights. That's with half their roster sitting on the bench with injury. That's an amazing feat. So, all right. So we're going to move off them Warriors for right now and say, good luck, congrats, and let's roll. Let's move on to the team that is easily one of the biggest disappointments in this young basketball season. That would be the Los Angeles Lakers. They're what's called a heritage team or heritage squad. Their team has been around basically damn near the team itself, the franchise has been around damn near since the beginning of the NBA. Okay. And I believe they existed back in the ABA as the Minneapolis Lakers. So like this franchise has been around, right? Definitely been around since the beginning of the NBA. So when this team goes out during the offseason and acquires names like Russell Westbrook, Dwight Howard, who else was it? DeAndre Jordan, Rajon Rondo, who they ended up trading to the Cavs. But Rajon Rondo, they keep some of their core players from the year before, like LeBron James and Tyler Horton. They even go out and add some names like Malik Monk, Carmelo Anthony. And you get 46 games into the season, easily over halfway through the season, and you're 23-23. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not blaming it on one individual person. I'm blaming this on the entire team. Like let's get it straight. This is not a let's bash LeBron, like I'm blaming it on LeBron type thing. This is a what the fuck is going on in LA? I don't blame this on Frank Vogel either, because this man just That he's working with what he's given with. He's working with what he's given. LeBron is, like I said, let's see. LeBron, of course, is leading the team at 28.9 points a game. Russ is leading the team in assists. This is a man that averaged a triple-double for 3 straight seasons. Is barely averaging 7.8%. And Anthony Davis, who's been out most of the season, or on and off the season, has or will make his comeback. And now all the Lakers fan, now the thing screaming out of Lakerville is just wait, AD, when AD come back, we're gonna run. We're gonna run. I don't think it's that simple. I genuinely don't. I don't think we are. I think what people don't understand is what happened in Golden State was an anomaly. It was a perfect player being added to the perfect team to not skip a beat and immediately do great things. You can't do that all the time. I think it was proven with Miami. I think it was proven with the 04 Lakers. And I think it's been proven again with this team. You can't just take a bunch of names and put them on a sheet and expect that team's going to win. Like you can in NBA 2K, don't get me wrong. Because NBA 2K, if he's a 98, then he dominates the game. If he's a 93, then he dominates the game. And you get a bunch of 80s with a 90 and they're going to rock and roll. But it doesn't work like that in real life. And I think this is just another example of that. The Lakers were a super team coming into the season. Westbrook, LeBron, AD, and then DeAndre Jordan, Dwight Howard, the names they had coming off the bench, they were a super team. Let's be real. Same way that the Miami Heat were a super team. And just like that Miami Heat team, this team is struggling. And once again, I don't blame it on LeBron, but at the same time, did LeBron help put this team together? Like Stephen A. Smith said, Russell Westbrook went to LeBron and said, I want to play on the Lakers. LeBron went to Jeannie and whatchamacallit and Rob Pelinka and said, I'll make this happen. He went to AD, got him to sign off on it. Now, it ain't Russell Westbrook's fault that he does not necessarily fit the system that's being run in Los Angeles. But it wasn't up to him to know that he didn't fit the system. It was up to LeBron. It was up to Frank Vogel. It was up to Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss to know Russ don't fit this system. If you want to win, Russ ain't the guy we're going to win with. I know you probably one of the baddest basketball minds in the history of the game, but bro, no. This dude don't need to be here and I think Russ is going to cause them problems. I think they're going to struggle with Russ. Even with getting AD back, I think they're going to struggle with Russ. Yeah, like it's really just a simple shot of Russ doesn't fit there. LeBron can't play with just anybody. He can't. LeBron has to have specific types of players around him in order to win. And he doesn't have those around him right now. So he can get his numbers all day. But is the team really going to be successful in the long term? I asked myself a question after watching the Lakers' recent struggles, losing 4 of the last 5 games, after a 4-game win streak, like I looked at myself and I go, is AD the true key to the Lakers winning the championship? Because they seem to play better when LeBron goes down and AD's on the floor than they do when AD goes down. When AD goes down, the team just seems to fall apart. They barely keep their head above water. And I'm not saying this to knock LeBron. I'm just saying what the record has shown us. What the record has shown us is that AD is the key. When AD's healthy and at his best game, they win the championship. They're a scary team. When AD's not, They're getting beat by, I would say the Timberwolves, but they're actually pretty good this year. They're getting beat by the Pacers. Go figure. But all that being said, it leads me to ask one last question before we go to break. Was Russell Westbrook a mistake for the Lakers to sign or trade for this offseason? I'll let you think on that for a quick second. If you're anything like me, you came to the answer, unfortunately, of yes. Because as much as I love seeing Russell Westbrook in a Lakers uniform after watching him play for UCLA for a couple of years. I believe he played for a year. He doesn't fit what they're trying to do. And either he has to change his game or they need to move on from Russ. And his contract's a little too big just to dump anywhere. But that's the reality of it. Either he needs to change his game completely and become something completely different than what he is, because they've moved on from Rondo, so it's not like they can just start bringing him off the bench, which was another mistake, was moving on from Rondo. But you ain't paying two people a lot of money to play the same position. But anyway, the Lakers would be best served to make a change at the point guard position and either bring Russ off the bench and have him play not on the floor with, have him play on the floor with Carmelo, who he's played with before, but not with LeBron and AD, or move Russ on to a different team. It's up to you. But if I was you, Russ, I don't know, dude. I'd take the Andre Iguodala route. Bring me off the bench. Make me the leader of the second squad. And then that way I can be me. Might work. All right, so that's it for this half of the show. We'll come back to talk some NFL as we talk 49ers and NFL playoffs. You're listening to The Classroom. You know where, you know when. I'm saying thank you for listening in. Peace. You are listening to Double K's Classroom right here on the 4Aces Presents Radio Network. Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, CastBox, and wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Imagine this. It's Friday night. You're at home wishing you can listen to an amazing playlist of some of your favorite music from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Pop, rock, whatever. Then take out your favorite podcast listening device and tune in to KD5P, otherwise known as K-Double's Fifth Period Music Class. Every Friday night from 8 to 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, K-Double brings you some of your favorite tunes live on the 4Aces Presents Radio Network on Live 365. Hey guys and gals, this is Double KK Double. What if I told you there was a show where you could listen to two avid fans talk pro wrestling, movies, and comics Well, there is. And it's called the Cheap Pop Podcast with K Double and Alpha. And it's on every Sunday night at 5 p.m. on the 4 Aces Presents Radio Network, Spreaker.com. Hello, hello, hello. And I'm back. That's right, B-A-C-K, back to talk. Dun, da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da, da-da, dun, da-da, da-da-da-da-da. NFL football. Yes, as my boys, the San Francisco 49ers, have started rolling. They finished the season. With 2 wins in a row, needing to win both 2 games. They finished the season beating the Rams, or not the Rams, the Texans, which was an easy 23-7 victory. And then they went to SoFi, the site of the Super Bowl, and were down 17-3 at half. 17-3. They were down. And then proceeded to outscore the Rams 24-7 over the next 2 quarters plus overtime to win the game, to seal their spot in the playoffs. That's what they did to get into the playoffs, okay? Then they proceeded to go to Dallas. 12-5, NFC East champions. Everybody said, man, these Niners, they got a chance, but man, the Cowboys gonna do it this day year. Cowboys fan, this our year. Until, as Mike Tyson used to say, everybody's got a plan till you get hit in the mouth. And that's what happened in the first half and the first 3 quarters of that game. Dallas made it a game late. Final score 23-17. But the Niners dominated that game. In the early quarter, they were up 23-7 at one point. Okay. They checked Dak Prescott like he was at the airport and trying to get on a plane, and just handled their business. Now, mind you, don't get me wrong, Dallas had an opportunity to win this game late. They did, and they blew it. They blew it by not managing the clock correctly. I wouldn't call it controversial. They just didn't manage the clock. But in the end, Jimmy threw for 172 yards, 1 touchdown. Elijah Mitchell went for 96 yards. Brandon Ayuk led receivers with 66 yards. But the key player of the game, of course, was Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel had like 30 yards in the air, 40 yards or 60 yards on the ground. He had a touchdown. Like, just Deebo got the job done. And that moved us on to another game that everybody thought the Niners had 0 chance to win. And this game just happened yesterday in Lambeau Field. 49ers 13, Packers 10. 49ers advanced to the NFC Championship game on a late Robbie Gould field goal. This game, the offense as a whole did nothing. Even though Jimmy finished with another 131 yards and another INT that he threw early in the game. Mitchell went for 53 yards on the ground. Kittle had 63 yards in the air. But here's what happened. Packers come out on the opening drive. They go up 7-0. A.J. Dillon touchdown. Nobody scored again until the 3rd quarter. But the first half ended with Jimmy Garoppolo throwing a pick that he really shouldn't have thrown, that might have led to points early for the 49ers. And the 49ers special teams showing their, power by with Jimmy Ward blocking Mason Crosby's kick as the Packers drove down and got close enough for a field goal and had the field goal blocked in the quarter or in the half. So we're going to halftime 7-0 Packers. 49ers drive down the field. They get the ball back on the third quarter, drive down the field. Almost fumble the ball, almost throw an interception, almost throw 2 interceptions, but get down close enough for Robbie Gould to kick a field goal. Now, here's where it gets crazy. Packers drive back down early fourth quarter, kick a field goal, go up 10-3. All right. Then the 49ers defense proceeds to do its job plus some, and special teams proceeds to do the job for the offense. 49ers hold the Packers or punt the Packers after getting the ball back. They punt the Packers into like the 10, 15-yard line. The Packers the Packers then proceed to go 4 and out or 3 and out. And they go to punt the ball, and Jordan Willis, who's come up with some key sacks at times and been one of those guys that's just been in the right places at the right times, gets a blocked punt. And rookie Talanoa Hufanga comes up with the ball after nobody can find it because it was blocked straight up. And he comes back down. Hufanga picks it up, runs it to the end zone. Tie game, 10-10. But we still got to get the ball back to Aaron Rodgers. There's 4 minutes left on the clock. So we get the ball back to Aaron Rodgers. And God willing, the 49ers defense comes through one more time and gets the ball back to the offense with like 3 minutes left on the clock. Niners run it down to the 2-minute warning. Packers use both their timeouts immediately following the 2-minute warning. The Niners get a critical third down on a Debo run for 8 yards on 3rd and 7. And Robbie Gould kicks a 45-yard field goal that launches the 49ers into the NFC Championship game to face the winner of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Rams game that's going to be played today. That's just me breaking down for you probably one of the greatest games I've seen this particular 49ers team play. Period. Even with all the mistakes, even though the offense didn't put up a single touchdown, other parts of the team other phases of the team came through and won the game for us. And that's what you call a complete team, a team that can beat you from any phase of the game. They don't have to necessarily, some games they can beat you in all the phases. In other games, they'll beat you in just one phase or 2 phases. This time, defense and special teams won this game. Jimmy did Jimmy things throwing that pick, but he also didn't give the ball away too much outside of that. And there was 2 catches that were not Jimmy's fault why they weren't like, there was one to George Kittle over the middle that if Kittle catches that, I believe he's gone for the fucking touchdown. And it would have been 7-7. But unfortunately, he didn't catch the ball, so the game went the way it went. But still, epic game, great win. Can't wait to see. You got Tampa Bay and the Rams coming up today. And I don't know. Like this Tampa Bay team is damn good, and Tom Brady has a tendency to win games that he shouldn't, but I don't know if they can against this Rams team. But then, I don't know if that Rams team wants to win and see this hot 49ers team again. But we'll see. We'll see. And then you got Chiefs Bills closing out the night and closing out the divisional round. But before we get to Chiefs Bills, let's talk Bengals Titans. I thought for sure the Titans were going to roll. They got Derrick Henry back. Everything was rolling. Everybody was healthy. I thought for sure they was about to roll, possibly the SoFi. And these Bengals, Joe Ice, you can call him. They call him Matty Ice. I call Joe Burrow Joe Ice. That dude do not give a fuck. And that kid went out there and did his thing to the tune of 348 yards, including critical yards to Jamar Chase to get them in position to kick the game-winning field goal. And the story I'll always take from it, they won 16-13. The story I'll always take from it is the story Joe Burrow said right after the game. That McPherson, the rookie kicker, that right before he went out, looks like he turns around, he goes, looks like we'll see you next week at the AFC Championship game, right before he goes out to make the game-winning kick. Bravo for the confidence. Bravo to call your shot, kid, and bravo to hit it. Cincinnati Bengals or something. I wouldn't mind seeing Niners Bengals. I think that would be an amazing Super Bowl, just like it was, I believe, a Week 15 game. I think it would be an amazing Super Bowl. So, let's see. I wouldn't mind seeing old man Tom in the NFC Championship game. Why? Here's why. First of all, you got the Tom Brady versus Jimmy Garoppolo storyline. That would just be amazing. But number two, because it means if the Niners do pull off the third improbable win to go to SoFi, it means they will have beaten Dak Prescott, Aaron Rodgers, and Tom Brady in the same postseason. Name me another team who can say that. Not many, because Tom ain't been in the NFC long enough. Not many in the NFC because Tom ain't been in the NFC long enough. And nobody beat him last year in the playoffs. So, but wow. Not to mention the fact Aaron Rodgers is now the big bagel and 4 against the 49ers in the playoffs. Sorry, Aaron. I keep telling you, man, I wish they had drafted you. Even though I don't respect you as a human being, I wish they had drafted you because you that dude, but evidently not against this team. Anyway, and people can't say, oh, it's this particular defense. And no, it's been over multiple years, dating back to the Harbaugh years. He just doesn't have good luck against this team in the playoffs. So it don't matter who the defensive coordinator is, it's Aaron Rodgers is going to lose to the 49ers in the playoffs. He'll get over that hump somewhere, but won't be this year. Won't be that Packers team. Because they're going home. All right. So if I had my dream Super Bowl, it would be either Niners-Chiefs rematch or Niners-Bengals. But we'll see. The Bills will have a say in whether or not it's Niners-Chiefs. But the Bengals have themselves in the AFC Championship game, so they have a shot. And so do the Niners. Other than that, y'all, that's it for me for this week. I wish y'all nothing but well, and I hope you guys are smiling as you listen to this because I know I am. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks. We're going to be making a shift with the show, and I'll make that announcement in the coming weeks as well. Love you all. Peace out.